All right, YouTube, I'm going to go over a little bit of Chum Q, some of the things that I like to focus on when I do Chum Q. It's not just the movement, and this goes for Silam Dao as well. Remember, Silam Dao means the little idea. And when we think about the little idea, what are we doing in Wing Chun? We are focusing on the punch. The punch, right? That centerline punch. That's the little idea. That's the core of Wing Chun. That's what Wing Chun is. It's that centerline punch. So we're going to look at Chum Q for a second, and I'm going to do a little bit of the form. I'm going to focus on things that I sit there and put into play, and not just these hand movements. So Chum Q translates into seeking the bridge, and some people can call that, you're seeking the bridge between you and your opponent, because we have those footwork movements. Some people call it sinking bridge. You have the sinking elbow energy. But the way I like to think of it is as, well, I guess it would be all of them would be seeking the bridges. You're seeking the bridge between your hand movements and your foot movements. So you're bridging those two together. Okay, so keep that in mind. We talk about Yuma in Wing Chun, the waist energy. And if you ever look at the dummy, the first movement is, it's an up movement coming up and in towards the dummy. We're going to look at the same thing. Yuma can go side to side, can also go up and down. And then remember, like I said before in Wing Chun, the human body can't handle two movements at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to do two movements at the same time when we're focusing on our Yuma. All right? So I'm going to open up the form. Move back so you can see a little bit here. Okay, one. Open my stance. So the very first movement, I set up, shift punch, tan, yun, chamber. In that movement, I am using these two hips to propel that punch forward. Tan, yun, chamber. So what I'm doing is I'm seeking the bridge between the punch that I learned in the first form and how my footwork go into play. Second, okay, punch. 1, 2, boom. And I come back to squared stance. So you're learning how to put the brakes on. But punch, and you're not coming all the way through. You're punching and then stopping. Okay, start, stop, start, stop. Okay, Yuma, starting right there. Boom. 1, relax the hands, elbows. 1. This hip and this hip, they're working in unison. Okay, this could be an elbow this way, lapsao. Could be an elbow strike that way. Could be a punch. Or you're learning to use all your tools. 2, 3. Watch Yuma. Rising up. Rising Yuma. Sinking. 1, 2, 3. A little bit of a bounce, but it's also Yuma we're focusing on. 1. The hips turn, the waist continues. 1, 2, 3. Loading up. Boom. Shifting. Pulling this elbow back, this elbow at the same time. We're going two separate directions here. Loading and boom. Pulling it in. Putting the brakes on again. Setting it up. Boom. Boom. Okay? We're using all of this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Loading, setting up, relaxing, shifting, stopping. Okay? Quan Sao movement. 2, shifting, stopping. 1 hip, boom, boom, sinking, putting the brakes on, learning to use hip flexors, adductors, butt cheeks, everything stopping. Core, boom, stopping again. Last one, boom, boom. Watch, ready? Loading, loading, loading. Boom, rising, pulling, boom, rising, sinking. Okay? So these are some of the things you put into play when you do your Chum Q. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole form. I am going to sit there and just point out that we sink, rise, sink, shift. You're putting this into play with all your movements. That's seeking the bridge as far as I'm concerned when we look at Chum Q. All right.